Hello everyone, this is Jabril, the owner of All White Teeth here in Atlanta, Georgia. And this is my teeth whitening specialist first month wrap-up video. So if you don't know, I was laid off from my full-time IT job during the middle of February, on the 17th of February. And because I had already been working and building this office part-time, I was taking appointments after 5 o'clock and I was taking appointments on the weekend as well. The obvious thing for me to do was to ramp up business here in a full-time capacity. And so, that's what I did. Now, one of the advantages that I had in doing so is because I had already been building business by running digital ads. I do have a background in running digital ads. I have an agency, a digital marketing agency called Beauty Biz Support, where I have been running ads for other service-based beauty businesses already. And I was running ads already exclusively on Facebook, not Facebook and Instagram, just on Facebook for myself, right? For my own business, All White Teeth. So that's what I was doing. So because of the fact that I was already taking in business already, it wasn't a large amount of business because I didn't have availability during, normal weekday hours. But in getting laid off, I was able to open up my schedule more. And because of that, I spent about $1,000 on Facebook in March, and that turned into 185 leads. So what does a lead look like? Well, when I run an ad on Facebook, it's a video of myself, actually with my brother as well, and I talk about teeth whitening, and it has all of the different points, and it has urgency, it has a call to action, it has a discount, it has all of these points that you would normally include in an ad anyway. Well, 185 people clicked on that ad. A lot more people clicked on the ad, but 185 people clicked, and then they entered their information into a form that pops up on Facebook. So that information is sent over to my system, my CRM, and then I would text them and call them, or the system does that automatically from there. So that's considered a lead in my case. So let's talk about the numbers from there. 108 people actually booked an appointment. Very interesting. 108 people out of that 185 booked an appointment. But the crazy part was, and this is the part that I'm still trying to figure out, 64 of those people canceled for some reason. They canceled their appointment. So I was actually able to service and provide teeth whitening services to 44 clients in total in the month of March. That equaled out to $4,343 in revenue and sales, booked sales, earned during the month of March. So let's talk about cancellations. There's so many reasons why people canceled. A lot of them were job related. They had to go into work, or for whatever reason they were held off late from work at work, and so they had to miss their appointment. A lot of them were no-shows. I mean, they booked an appointment. They saw the ad, they booked the time, they booked the date, and they just didn't show up for their appointment, even though the system sends out a text message 48 hours beforehand, 24 hours beforehand, 1 hour before their appointment. They just still, for whatever reason. Now, most of these leads that turned into bookings, they weren't required to pay a deposit. And that was one of the reasons I just wanted to bring in as many bookings as possible. Now, on the downside, because of that, a lot of people canceled. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I actually was mandating a deposit last year, I still had a lot of cancellations for whatever reason, and they just forfeited their deposit. So that's part of the industry, right? A lot of it was just various reasons as well. I mean, various reasons. I've had people say that, hey, I had to, go to the hospital, or, I had to watch the kids. It was just so many different reasons. The unfortunate part is is a lot of those people who I was able to rebook still canceled for whatever various reasons. Again, life happens and these things come up, right? So let's talk about the deposit thing. To collect the deposit or not to collect the deposit. I actually implemented a deposit and my bookings slowed down like a lot. So for whatever reason, as part of the industry here in Atlanta, people don't want to pay a deposit. They want to book, but they don't want to pay a deposit. The downside with that is I don't know who's going to show up and who's not going to show up for the appointment. So that's the thing that I'm actively still trying to search for and figure out. I know how to bring in the leads through the ads. The leads are booking appointments. Like that would have been over 10 to 12. You know, I'm charging variable amounts for depending on how many, minutes of whitening time each person has. So that ranges between 100 and 135. And so, I mean, for 108 booked appointments, that should have been between $10,000 to $12,000, $10,000 to $11,000 in sales, right? That's if everyone actually showed up. But it wasn't. It was a lot less. And whether a deposit would have impacted that or not, one of the things that my philosophy around a deposit at this point in time right now, I wasn't overbooked, so it wasn't necessarily knocking other appointments, especially considering the fact that I have one bed here and I have another bed right here. I have two beds. So it wasn't necessarily a situation where deposit or booked appointments were knocking that person or another person. It was more so frustrating on my end because I had other things to do and it was taking up my time where I could go run errands and things like that. So in conclusion, my takeaway is right now, as a lifelong entrepreneur, even though I was working in IT for most of my life, I've been an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship and running a business is hard, and these solutions take time, and they'll work itself out. So that's my month in review for my first month as a full-time teeth whitening specialist. Thanks for watching.